Hello everybody. I am going to just do a little test live here. I was going to do a little iPad painting in Procreate, and I'm checking out some new software, so we'll see if it works. Hopefully you can hear and see me. I'm going to take a look over on the Facebook page, and I'm actually learning to do the chat room kind of with all these different platforms at the same time. So that's kind of interesting. How you can be in 3 or 4 places at once. So I think I can say hello to you guys. Not positive. I'm just figuring it out. So yeah, interesting. Wow. Okay, I'm just going to say hello. Hello, everyone. And see if you guys can see it. I don't know if I can see it when you come back or not. We'll figure that out. Okay, so let's do a little iPad painting. And as soon as I get this window fixed so that I can see what you guys are saying, if you're saying anything, I don't know, honestly. Figuring it out, guys. So there, I'm just going to put it over here in the corner, and hopefully, if you guys have anything to say, I'll be able to see it. So I've got my iPad open, and I am going to turn this off. That keeps scrolling there. So I thought I would just do a little iPad painting just to see how this all goes when we're doing all these different chat rooms and things like that. So first up, you're going to see my iPad screen. I'm going to go back to the gallery and open a new canvas, and let me get my pencil. So I'm going to open a new canvas there. That drops down the canvas panel. And I think I'll start with this kind of teal color up here, my color dot. And my brush size, you can see on the left hand side it's about mid-range, and I'm on layer number 1. So let's just start with a couple of simple shapes. And the pressure, you can make it more transparent or less transparent with less or more pressure. Let's go a little bit bigger. I think, you know what, I think I will clear this layer, 3-finger scrub. I want to make this a little bit bigger because I don't want to have to go around so many times to create that shape. There, that's about what I want right there. So I will go to the next layer, create another layer. And go to another layer, tap that plus sign. Let's pick a different color. We'll go to kind of a golden color. Just gonna leave it on the watercolor brush. A little bit smaller, like so. Let's have another layer. Now maybe we'll do something a little green. And one more layer. And color-wise, let's go a little gray. Okay, now let's put some texture on these. I'm going to go to that first layer. I'm going to put a new layer above it. And I'm going to go to my brush and I'm going to pick up stucco. And I'm going to make sure stucco is black and white. That will give me good contrast in that texture. So I'll make that really big. And I'm on the layer above my watercolor teal. And I'm just going to paint the whole layer with that stucco. Oops, not in white. In black. There. Okay, I'm going to paint the whole layer in stucco. Seems really weird, doesn't it? Now I'll tap on that layer and oh, I inadvertently put that on the same layer as my teal, and that's not where I want it. So I'm going to tap out of that, tap twice, and go here and make a new layer. And now go back to my texture. Make sure I'm on the right layer when I do this, and put my texture in there. Now tap on that layer and tap clipping mask, and you'll see the texture only goes on the layer where the color is. It won't go anyplace else. So I've got a really nice texture there, but I think I'm going to change the blend mode. So I'm going to go to the little N there, and I'm going to go to, I want it to be a little more noticeable. So I think multiply, maybe. Lighten's not going to do it. Soft light, hard light. Hard light looks good. Let's see what linear light looks. Hard light looks good. Let's leave it there. And let's go back to this layer right here. And I want to enhance that color a little bit. So I'm going to go to my adjustments panel. I'm going to go to hue, saturation, and brightness. I'm going to push the brightness down just a little bit. I want to intensify it a little bit. And then saturation, I'm going to push it up. There. And as a matter of fact, I think I'm going to go into this layer right here and duplicate it. And see, that will make it even more saturated when you have two layers like that. So it's even a little bit more saturated. So let's go to the next orange layer. Make a new layer above it. Go to our brush, and I'm going to go to some other textures that I have, and let's go to There we go. Let's see, some of these textures. Let's try charcoal sponge. That should be good. And I'm on the layer above the layer I want to put the texture on. So I'm going to go to that layer. And I really only have to put the texture over the area that I want to have texture. I don't have to put it over the entire layer. So then when I tap on clipping mask, it just lays down on the color and nowhere else on that layer. I'm also going to duplicate this and make it a little bit more saturated. And we'll do the green one now. Go to the green layer, make a layer above it, go get some texture. Let's do paint stamp this time. And make sure you're on the right layer. Do paint stamp, that's a little bit too big. Let's go a little smaller. Like that. Do clipping mask. And let's duplicate that. There, so it's got a little bit more saturation. And finally, I've got this one up here. Add a layer above it. Go to texture. What kind of texture should we put on that one? Let's see. Texture, let's do overlay brushes. Gouda's pretty good. Make sure we're on the right layer. Whoops, that's really huge. Like that. Tap clipping mask. And let's duplicate this layer. There, okay. So now we've got these shapes and they are nice, they have nice texture to them. And that's all done with the clipping mask. You know, so it's pretty, a pretty cool way to work. Now what we can do is we can move these layers around by grouping them. So I'm going to take this layer, I'm going to slide them all so they're light blue and then tap group. And when I did that, I inadvertently, let's tap out of that. Oh, I had this layer in there. I didn't want that layer in there. Okay, so I've got these layers. Let's do that again. Now it's group. That's more like it. Now if I tap on that and hit my transform tool, I can move everything in one go. So we'll do the same thing with the teal layer. And make sure we don't have the group highlighted at the same time. And oops, and I did highlight that at the same time. Didn't mean to do that. Okay. All right, we'll go here. And then tap group. Then this group's together. That's our teal group. We can move that around. And finally we'll do that with the gray group. And we'll move that around here. And then maybe we'll just add some you know, let's just flatten this because I'm just going to leave it the way it is. Let's just flatten it. And now let's have a new layer. And I've got some stamps here. Let's get a couple of stamps. What do we want? I think I have a tree stamp somewhere. Don't I? Yeah, here's a tree stamp. Let's take this tree stamp and let's put it here. That's too big. Let's go smaller. Get the transform tool. And maybe one more here. Oops, let's do a new layer on that, because we may want to move these around independently of each other. Okay, maybe one more here. Let's do another layer. Oops, yeah. Make this one a little bit smaller. There we go. Okay, so let's do a final layer. Go back to our brush, get our watercolor brush, which is in painting, and watercolor. And let's put a watercolor swatch here. I'm trying to think what color we should use. Let's try this color here. Not the greatest color. Let's try kind of a golden color, and I think that gouache is going to work better than watercolor. Yeah, gouache is much better, but it needs to be bigger. Yeah, that's much better. There. Now we can put a new layer here. Go over to our actions, add text. And we'll just add a little word. Let's see. Well, I guess we better change the color. Can't see that. Okay. Color should be, let's make it a purple. And let's change the, let's use just a regular, oops, why do I have it up there? Because there. Fine, we'll leave that there. So there's a little bit about clipping masks and text. And we don't need that there. Okay, there. So this was primarily just so I could see if I can manage the chat, which of course I was totally not paying attention to. All right, let's see if this actually worked. I don't know if it worked or not, to be honest with you. Okay, well, I am live on YouTube. But I can't see the chat box. So that is so frustrating. Okay, well, I'm going to sign off, just testing live streams to see if I can actually make it work. I will see you all next time. I'm live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 3 to 5 p.m. and hopefully we can make the live stream work a little better next time. I'll see you next time, okay? Take care.